Okay, we're all good. I wanted to just make sure everything is okay. All right, so let me get. Welcome to the Virtual Cheese Awards 2024, showcasing the best of British cheese. I'm Nick Copland from Homage to Fromage, and today we're going to be judging the goat's milk soft cheese category. And with me to do the judging, we have Steve Fleming and Simon Farrow. So if you'd like to introduce yourselves very briefly, and then we can get on. Steve.
Okay, I'm Stephen Fleming. I'm the owner of George and Joseph Cheesemongers in Chapel Alton in Leeds, and I've been working there in cheese for about 12 years now. But this is my first time judging the Virtual Cheese Awards, so having a great day so far. Looking forward to this category.
Okay, and Simon?
Hello there, I'm Simon Farrow. I am shop manager and head cheesemonger at the Courtyard Dairy up in North Yorkshire in Settle. Been doing judging a little bit, different awards. This is the first time I've done the Virtual Cheese Awards. Having a great day so far.
Marvellous. Okay. Well, hopefully we can carry on with this positive vibe on goat's milk soft cheese. So we've got cheese. The first cheese we're going to be looking at is F7 1035. There she blows. Excellent. Righto. Well, let's have a unwrap and think about the appearance of this cheese.
But before I even unwrap, it feels quite soft in the pack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does feel quite soft already.
Wow. Lovely.
Nice kind of PC mold rind on there.
So yeah, first appearance looks lovely. There's no obvious defects or faults in there at all. Looks very well done.
And is that a little texture I can see on the bottom of one of them? I'm sure I saw a little bit of.
It's been marked from where it's been.
Oh yes.
On the train.
Okay.
On the racks.
Yeah. No, I can see that. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I don't know about
very
your
delicate.
You got a bit of kind of browning on the outside, right round the edge.
Not on this one.
Like, so there you can see.
Yeah,
yeah.
A bit more of that on mine. Not saying it's a bad thing.
No. So just on first impressions, so far so good.
Yeah.
Should we investigate the middle?
We cut through and have a look. So.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Just yum that, yeah.
Nice and soft there with a nice breakdown.
Breakdown under the rind of my one.
Yeah.
Almost like the one with the previously this morning, maybe a bit overly broken down.
Yeah, maybe just a little touch. You can sort of see where the centre starting to come away a little bit from the rind.
Looks to me like Steve's is slightly less right than yours, Simon. So
on, yeah,
a little bit of a range there, but no bad thing.
Absolutely not.
So appearance-wise, so far, what do we think?
Yeah, looks good. It's got quite a thick rind development, I think. So maybe, I don't know, got that kind of real thick rind there. So maybe mark it down a little bit for that.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd still be, I'd give it a solid 7. How it looks. Looks like
I
nice.
agree with that, yeah. And of course, struck as well with it being goat's milk, of course, there's then bright white in the centre, which is
that
little point of difference.
Looks like kind of nice clean cheese.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Aroma.
Mine's got quite like a little bit of like a sour note to it. Kind of those flavours you get when goats and sheep's milk cheese break down.
Yeah, I'm not getting that so much, but then I think because yours is that bit further on than mine.
Smells quite goaty as well, which is obviously in the goat category, so that's probably a positive thing. So,
yeah. Good sign.
Yeah, there's kind of a nice mix
by the milk type by aroma.
Kind of nice mix of that kind of goatee aroma with that kind of classic sort of, brie-esque white mold going on.
Yeah. So what do we think as a score for the aroma?
I'm thinking about 6.5.
Yeah, I was going to say 6, 6.5.
Go 6.5.
Yeah.
Texture, I think there's a lot you can discern from looking at it.
Yeah, so oozy.
Yours is very oozy, isn't it, Simon? Oh gosh, yeah. Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
little breakdown there.
Yeah, it's a nice combination of textures there with that chalkiness and the gooiness under the rind.
That rind is quite chewy.
Yeah, I was going to say something that we noted about the thicker rind. It sort of is quite chewy there, isn't it?
I think the ooziness is lovely, and I think the centre is lovely, and mine is quite almost moussey, almost on the verge of being broken down fully. That cheese.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think it's almost like a packet of goo, which is pleasant.
Yeah.
Got that slight. I think with my brown and rind as well, I'm getting those kind of ammoniated flavours now. I've got nothing in my mouth, and I've got that lingering, lasting.
Yeah, I'm not getting that, but what I get behind from the rind is kind of quite a leafy, almost kind of slightly broccoli notes from a flavour from the rind, which is not unpleasant. It's very nice. Yeah, unexpected, but yeah, I think because that rind is thicker, it's kind of the cheese. The cheese is gone before the rind has in my mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's then concentrate.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So in terms of texture on that how do we feel in terms of texture for a score?
Maybe a 6.5, 7.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I feel texturally mine's probably slightly higher than yours, but then it's just the difference in. So yeah, 6.5 to 7 would work for me.
Should we say 7?
Yeah.
And obviously you've tasted it now, so thoughts on flavour? We've got leafy, sort of slightly broccoli-ish, little bit brassica coming through.
Yeah.
It's got that nice kind of salty richness going on in the paste in my particular cheese. Nice.
Yeah, nice. Nice balance of flavours.
So overall for flavour, what do we think?
I'm going to take a bit out in the middle of mine, just to see if I get any different flavours. It might be a bit closer to Steve's. Actually, the core is very good. I do think mine's a little bit too far gone though, to be fair. But the cheeses there must be variants in the batch or steps.
Oh yeah,
going on here. So, but it's good flavour. I think the flavour is there, and there's different flavours going on. So again, maybe 7.
Yeah, I'd say 7 on the flavour. Yeah, I agree with 7.
7.
Nice.
Marvellous. Great. Okay, so. Oh, well, that gives us a total of 31 for that one. Very good. Any other comments on that one at all?
It'd be nice to know if the cheeses were from the same batch, just to see how they've been handled differently, transported differently, or parts of the store, just to have so between what we've got.
It's a very slight difference, very subtle difference, isn't it?
Yeah,
there was. But I think particularly with soft cheeses, that a week can be a long time.
Yeah.
So in terms of finish and everything, particularly in terms of texture and stuff.
And I can certainly say mine's been stored in my outhouse fridge, so that could be Steve's maybe kitchen fridge. I don't know.
Yeah, no, mine was in our walk-in for a couple of days until yesterday.
Yeah,
It's but yeah, domestic fridge at home. So
I don't think we can
Can't
nail it down to a difference of fridges, people. Okay, so the next one up is F71044.
Okay.
We want to have an unwrappage of that, and we'll have a look at it.
Okay.
Looks like a nice individual cheese again.
Yep. First impressions.
Lots of rinds, kind of, maybe the rind is overdeveloped on this particular cheese, as you can see.
There's some of those darker spots on there as well.
Oh yeah.
Blues and browns aren't too bad, but it's when that rind it becomes that kind of sticky, yellowy colour when it should
Yeah.
be rind.
Yes.
Let's crack it open and see what it's like inside.
Yeah.
A lot firmer than the previous one.
Pretty consistent texture inside as well.
Yeah, very
Consistent, do you say?
Yeah, it's that kind of nice moussey.
like that.
Okay.
But I like the contrast between the slightly, sort of aged exterior with all those different colours, sort of leatheriness going on, and that lovely fresh, bright white in the centre.
So nice contrast there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So overall on appearance, what do we think?
Initially, I was not like, oh, but actually, maybe a 7.
Yeah, I was thinking a 7. I think I was a bit like you at first, like, oh.
Oh, yeah, what's going on here?
So initially not, but once you've cut it open,
yeah. I can see there's probably some intention here.
Yeah. So aroma-wise?
It's almost got like a kind of fruity, almost like that pear droppy note to it.
Yeah, there's that slightly sour, fruity, almost kind of yeasty, brewy type aroma to it.
Yeah, I think that if you smell just the rind, I think that's got that real nice yeastiness to it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a bit of that sort of beeriness.
Yeah. Not bad aroma, quite intense aroma considering the size of the cheese and the type of the cheese.
Yeah, no, it's I like it. It's good, a good thing.
What do we think for a score for that?
I think it was solid 7s again for me.
Yeah,
Simon?
Mark 7. So yeah, let's go 7. Happy with that.
7's good. And into texture.
Well, actually, it looks like it's got a lovely kind of moussey texture to it. Not too firm, not too soft.
I've got a little bit of breakdown going on under the rind just at this end. If you can see that.
Yeah, I've got one corner that's a little bit like that as well. Yeah.
I can imagine that breakdown would continue if we kept it for a bit longer.
Yeah.
But
the rind's already getting a little bit slippy in that area. You can see like the rind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Move away, isn't it?
A bit of slippy rind maybe. Mouth feels quite good. Like kind of melts in the mouth.
Yeah, and just melts and coats.
I would say again that texture between the rind and the paste, similar to the last one, is quite a difference. But it's not
Yeah.
It's that kind of they're separate in the mouth.
The paste is quite velvety, isn't it?
Yeah.
A score on texture?
Gonna be a bit boring here and say 7 again.
We're gonna have to exclude the number 7 from our range.
Yeah. I might have to start banning 7 for a little while.
Between 1 and 10, but not 7.
Flavour wise,
Quite intense flavour.
It is, yeah.
It was more intense than I was expecting, but then I kind of maybe did expect, because the way the rind is, for it to have a little taste like this.
Quite salty in the paste, and then there's quite a lot of salt actually, and then there's a bitter note that comes through from the rind at the end as well.
I was thinking if it was a little bit of a younger cheese, it'd be really, really quite good. I think this is just going to
Right.
taste a little bit too much.
mm,
Yeah, because that texture's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, texture's awesome.
Would you lose that texture if it was any younger? You know, it might be firmer inside.
Yeah, I think it probably would. You're right. Probably be harder, wouldn't it? The centre firmer. So, yeah, it's a balancing act, isn't it?
Yeah.
because to my mind, that's approaching the texture that I'd want to eat the cheese at.
Yeah, it needs eating.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if you sort of take the aroma and the flavour away, that's, and just purely from visual, that's how I want my soft cheese to look. You know, I want that little bit of breakdown. I don't want too much. I want, you know, that's what you want. So it's whether that is then optimum flavour and aroma at that point, I suppose, where those two things marry up.
Yeah.
So what do we think for flavour?
I think maybe
Do you say 7?
I was going to say 6 on the flavour because it's just something. The balance could be slightly better between the saltiness of the centre and that sharpness on the outer as well. So, and I'm not just saying that because I don't want to say 7 again.
No, but not just because we're not allowed to say 7 again, but also because, you know, I think I've written down, you know, it is intense, but there is a bit of saltiness crept in, and that bitter note from the rind might just be unbalancing the overall flavour of the cheese.
Yeah.
Is that about right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite nitpicky stuff, I know, but
Okay, look. Which brings us to the next one, which is F7 1118.
this little log,
Oh,
quite a big log out.
In perforated cellophane again. Another one like that.
Yeah. Nice.
that's a good looking piece of cheese.
It is.
Appearance, first impressions?
I love
piece of cheese.
Yeah, that kind of that yeasty kind of wrinkliness going on there is really even as well.
Yeah.
Really well developed.
Is that going to focus?
Gotta love a log as well.
Yeah, that's a nice centerpiece on a cheese board, that, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Looks like it's been looked after in maturation from the right amount of turning as well, and I think that perforated cellophane helped it keep nice and dry, so it's not got too moist on that rind.
Yeah, because sometimes you see if they've not been turned, they get slippery, don't they, where they've been on the bottom of the cellophane.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been well cared for.
So on appearance, what do we think?
Let's have a look inside.
Oh, we'll have a chop inside first, yeah.
I feel a little bit of breakdown under that rind as soon as I cut through, but that's...
Yeah, I've got the same.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, yeah.
Bit of ooziness going on there.
And that core looks lovely and creamy as well, like not even moussey, but a bit firmer. Like what you just mentioned, like a French goat's milk log, where it's kind of firm inside, breakdown.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that looks really good if you kind of to have that even like that on your cheese board or.
Oh yeah.
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 I'm going to go 8s on this one for visual.
Yeah, I would have asked
Eight.
eight's good, 8.5, 8 maybe. But yeah.
Let's go 8.5.
Yeah.
8.5. Let's
Particularly
go
for
8.5.
particularly for the rind on it. I'm really loving the exterior.
And especially with a whole cheese where you see a rind like that and you kind of what makes you want to cut into it and explore and have a little look, and it's a nice thing. Righty ho, aroma.
Got that kind of nice biscuity note on the rind,
Yeah.
which I'll expect a little bit, and then are you picking up some kind of like floral, fragrant, like almost like grassy note to the?
Yeah. Something outdoorsy about it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's got a good aroma.
Yeah. Different.
And you'd hope that it kind of then go into the flavour, the way that we're smelling it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I've got that anticipation is there now.
Yeah. No, very good aroma on that. Nice, diverse aromas coming off of it.
And in terms of texture so far, it looks like a nicely manageable, managed cheese.
Mhm.
Yes.
So I guess it's worth time to have a bit of a taste, see how it feels in the mouth and all.
Texturally, there's a nice balance between the rind and the paste. I think with the previous two, where the rinds were kind of more pronounced.
Yeah. I think the rind is more balanced with the paste. I think the little bit of breakdown, I think it could just be like a nice moussey texture, like throughout, and it makes it a lovely cheese. But that rind has broken that paste down quite nicely.
Yeah.
Very creamy. It's good. Probably tastes kind of good. The quality of the goat's milk there is very clean as well.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide, is there? It's very clean.
Clean.
So on texture, we yet to score aroma.
I really like the aroma on it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could go as high as an 8 maybe with the aroma.
Yeah.
An 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. And texture.
Texture's good.
Yeah.
Maybe even like 8.5 maybe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's very little to
Yep.
fault on texture. It's all going on, isn't it?
Yeah. And the flavour.
The flavour's not as intense as I was actually expecting it to be.
No. From that aroma, I think we were optimistic of something maybe a bit more.
But it's one of those goat's milk cheeses where actually it's not overly goaty. It's not got that any of those real bitter notes that you can get from goat's logs that are kind of beginning to go brown on the rind or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's got a nice balance between sweetness and saltiness.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's over salty. It's well salted.
Right.
Again, I'd score it quite high.
Yeah, I'd go 8.5 on that. I think it's a solid all-rounder.
Nice cheese.
Yeah, lovely cheese.
8.5 it is.
Yeah.
Matching. Let me feed that into the cheese machine.
I've got the breakdown of the rind is a bit more yellow than the paste actually. I don't know if yours has changed since you've opened it, since you've cut it.
Has a little bit, yeah, ever so slightly.
I can almost like richer.
Mm.
going on there. Good.
Right, well, that's leapt into the lead so far, which brings us to our fourth cheese, which is F7 1180.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
All of these goat cheeses have been wrapped very nicely in either wax paper or cellophane, or
Yeah, there's been some good.
been sent over to us very well.
Mm.
Yeah, because sometimes you can receive goat's cheeses and they've not survived the journey so well, have they? They've been coming through the boat. But these have all come through.
Yeah, very well.
Really good. Yeah.
That's a nice looking cheese. What do we think first impressions?
Nice wrinkly rind again.
Yeah. Again, there's no damp. There's no sort of moisture on either end. It's obviously been well cared for and turned. There's a nice weight to this as well because it's a bit more. I'm sure it's about the same weight as the previous one, but because it's more of a drum, it just feels there's a bit more heft to it.
Have you got a bit more white growing on yours, Steve?
A little bit, yeah. I think maybe it's just the light.
Maybe it's the light. Yeah, they look about the same, don't they?
Yeah, I think they are.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look quite like a nice little pretty cheese.
Beautiful cheese, that.
Also quite even as well, like the Steve was saying, it's just kind of nice and even.
It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it?
Yeah. And again, on a board, because it's got a bit of height about it.
Yeah.
Sit up.
Oh, wow.
Aha. Ah, indeed.
One ash line in the centre.
Very clever.
Nice.
Also looks like it's well integrated in for cheese because some of these you can like break them off from their
Yeah.
ash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty striking line.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Okay.
It's very nice.
If I'm being super, it's not exactly horizontal.
Get your spirit level out, Steve. Hang on a minute.
But you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the delicacy of that line because again, it can be very easy to just hammer a big thick line of ash through the center.
Yep.
But
It's nicely done.
That takes some skill.
Well, that was very striking, wasn't it? We all went, ooh, so actually appearance-wise, that should score high.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was unexpected.
Probably
Well,
not.
first of all, because it would look great on a cheese board in the first instance, but the first lucky person to cut into it gets that little extra little boost of a little line across.
Yeah, there's that little reveal, isn't there? Which is great.
Yeah, there's something in there. So what do we think, guys?
I think maybe 9.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
The rind's lovely.
9 it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, from my end, that appearance-wise, that was very exciting when it first got unwrapped and carried it through nicely. So yeah, very happy with that. So aromas.
Got a nice and goaty farmyard aroma actually. Got a bit more of that going on than we've had in previous goats so far.
Yeah. Definitely more of a hit of that.
And I'd have thought maybe with a rind like that, you get some really powerful notes from that rind. Actually, it's got a very, very subtle, nice, clean smell to the rind.
Yeah, it's quite mellow, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon as a score for aroma?
Maybe an 8.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
8. Good.
It's, with a blindfold on, like you very much would be reassured that you're in the territory of a really distinctive goat's cheese.
Yes.
Which is would be really reassuring and yeah, drawing me to want to taste it. So that's a good thing.
Right. Well, without further ado.
So a good texture and taste.
Yeah.
So I've got a little bit of breakdown at the bottom of mine. And up the side a little bit.
Yeah, I've got a tiny little bit too. You can just see it's just breaking down.
Oh yeah. That's nice though.
Super thin rind. The rind is really thin on that.
Yeah, nice and delicate.
Yeah. There's a interesting because when I saw the whole thing and I said, oh, first, oh, it's got quite a sort of heft to it. But actually, when you start to look, it's very delicate. The execution's really with that thin line and the thin rind.
Yeah, if you get some of that right, you barely know it's there.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. That's good.
Almost rindless, isn't it?
And considering how dark and thick it looks from externally.
Yeah. When you look inside there, it's barely there. And the texture.
What do we think to the texture, chaps?
It's that sort of clotted cream, really thick, really rich.
Yeah.
Smooth.
It's like the richest one we've had so far.
Mm.
That's good. That nice mouth coating, slightly cloyy texture. Great down to cut through. Good texture.
Yeah, like it.
8.5, 9.
I'd go 9 on that texture.
Let's go 9.
9 it is. And flavour.
I'm getting some nice ones like sharp's acidity, which is actually really cutting through that richness. So I think that's a really good balance of that.
Yeah, it's got that nice mouth watering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good acidity marker, isn't it? But
it looks like a really nicely manageable cheese as well. I think the first one, I think if you put that on a cheese board, by the time the second person had cut into it, you'd have Armageddon on your hands. Whereas I think this one, it just looks really nice to cut and consistent, but keeps its shape nicely.
yeah, that's a testament to the texture actually, because it cuts really easily, but it doesn't crumble or it doesn't go. It's not breaking down too much. So
Yeah.
Imagine that going around the table, and everyone's going to get a nice looking piece of cheese out of that.
Sure.
And actually, because of the size of it, you get equal amount of paste and rind, and you're getting a lot of paste. Rather than like that, some people could just get the rind of some of these. I'm gone. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very democratic.
It's a happy sharing cheese.
Yeah.
So anything more on the flavour? Does it deliver against the aroma and appearance?
Slight hint of bitterness there, but again, with that sharpness, I think it's cutting lovely. Slight savoury, almost vegetal note, but with that goatiness, it's quite a goaty one. That's good.
It delivers what you expect it to, doesn't it? From the aroma and the texture and look, it's like, yeah, this is an absolutely banging goat's cheese. So,
can I quote you on that, Steve?
You can, yeah.
Absolutely banging. Yeah.
Technical.
Very technical term. What sort of score should we give it for flavour?
I think maybe a 9.
I was thinking 9 as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Up there, really up there.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely delivered on those the promises of the appearance and aroma. I think that's part of the thing with this, because I think some of the others, with a thicker rind, if this had a thicker rind, you'd have lost a lot of that subtlety and the enjoyment of the texture would have been different.
Yeah.
So no. Great. Well, that's a super high score, that is. Dare I say it, the highest today.
Ooh.
Right, F7 1181.
Another log and another very well wrapped one at that.
Which is always lovely to see. You don't want cheese bunged in a bag, badly wrapped, and
well, the care, it's how you do one thing, it's how you do everything, isn't it? So the care in the packaging is going to be a telltale for care of the cheese making.
Right, folks, first impressions.
Again, looks like it's got lovely rinds, nice wrinkly rinds, nice even all over.
Yeah, looks good.
That's a pretty looking cheese.
See what it's like in the centre.
Again, it's not too damp either, so none of these are coming through today really, apart from that little one that we said the rind. Really cheese, really. Very good.
So again, nice interior.
Oh yeah, very good.
That's
Very
nice
nice.
and consistent throughout as well. Not much breakdown.
Slightly thicker rind than the last one, just for contrast. But not by much.
Much.
So aroma.
Got a nice intense aroma, actually, I think, from that.
Yeah. Nice goatiness. If that is a thing.
Those kind of slightly earthy notes to it as well, those.
Yeah, it's kind of got a bit more depth of it on aroma to the previous one, I think.
Yeah. Like I say, the aroma is a bit more intense than probably the last two we've tried, which are a similar kind of ash coated and
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
shaped goat's cheese. The one with the least breakdown, but strongest aroma.
yeah,
The aroma.
really good.
So appearance, what are we going to score?
I think maybe 8.
Yeah, I was thinking 8 on the appearance.
And aroma?
I like it.
Yeah, maybe 8 or 9.
Yeah, I'd say a 9 on aroma.
9.
Yeah, got a really good nose to it.
Great. Okie doke. So on to texture. Obviously, you've already cut into it and have a squeeze of it, but maybe start.
Nice bit of breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much breakdown as I say as the other ones, but it's there. Slight little.
Yeah,
Cuts quite well.
Yeah,
You get like a whole disc off of it.
lovely. Yeah, kind of sliceable, manageable piece.
Quite creamy, quite really like rich and quite firm, quite nice. Quite young, maybe. It could do with a little bit of age, that.
yeah. I just wonder if they could do a little tiny bit longer.
Mm.
I think that core would be a bit more moussey. If you had a little mousse to it.
Just from the texture. Still pretty good.
So what do we think on texture? Numbers wise.
We've had better in the last two. Maybe 7.5.
I was thinking, yeah, 7.5 is fair, I think.
I just think it could
And
do
for flavour. And for flavour, you think it could just do with a bit longer?
Yeah, a little bit longer. Flavour's good, it's intense. It backs up the nose that you're getting. So those aromas that are coming through, it does back up those aromas.
Yeah.
Which is nice because some of them have fallen flat or some have been more flavoursome than their aroma suggests.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely delivers on that.
Still quite lemony, nice and goaty. It's good.
Nice and balanced as well. That's good.
And what about a score?
8.5, 9. Maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking 8.5, but I'm happy to go to 9 on that.
Let's keep it 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
9 or 8.5?
8.5.
8.5. Marvellous. Right, let's put these into the cheeseometer.
I love to think you actually have a cheeseometer there, Nick, knowing what you're like.
I want a cheeseometer. I think everyone should have one. Right, that's coming at 37.25. Brings us to our last cheese of the day, gentlemen, which is the beguilingly entitled F71197. Oh, comes in a little box.
The box, yeah.
So appearance, I'm already excited. It comes in a little sprucey box.
And the excitement continues when you take the lid off because the cheese is wrapped in paper inside. So, like a little Russian doll. We're allowed to say that, please.
These are good because they can be like a humidor, can't they? If it's too not humid enough, they can be the little humidor. They can also help dry out because they're porous. So,
Yeah.
would suggest this is quite a interesting.
Unwrapping this, it's going to be quite delicate.
Are you getting your paper sticking into the rind of yours, Steve?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
It's just tearing a little bit.
that's potentially because of the box.
Mm. So first impressions, once
Right.
unwrapped.
Nice little individual sheets. The rind is even throughout, just a nice kind of white rind, maybe a bit fluffy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There's no obvious blemishes or faults or defects on the rind.
Yep.
A little bit of theatre opening up as well, so
Yeah, we always like that.
Yeah, that's true. Oh wow,
Inside what? Oh yeah.
some nice breakdown there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very nice.
Nice squishy.
Righty ho. What about aromas? Oh, sorry, a score for appearance, including the exciting box.
Yeah,
I think for me with the appearance, it looks nice, but I think the theatre of it belies the cheese that's inside maybe a little bit.
Mhm.
Got a bit of a kind of, the rind's coming off a little bit there, but it looks nice. It looks like a nice cheese. I'd go 7.5.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. Yeah, it's yeah, 7.5.
And aroma wise?
Very light aroma. There's not really
Yeah, very subtle,
huge
isn't it?
amount of it. Almost like lemon, but like lemon zest almost rather than lemon.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's very, very subtle.
Mm.
It could just be that I'm a bit nose blind from all the other.
But
Yeah,
So if you had to give it a score on the aroma?
I would go a 6 on aroma for that for me.
I was about to say the 7, but I'm happy to go in between.
6.5.
Do it.
Texture, folks. Have a squidge and maybe nibble a bit.
Mm.
Quite a thick rind. I've still got paper stuck in some of my rind as well, which isn't the best.
Mm.
Yeah, the thickness of the rind's making it quite hard to cut.
Yeah, when like pushing it down first, it
Yeah.
just through it, pushed it, and then it went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got some which is kind of just sort of, you can see the rind there is kind of
Just come away.
part of it, but
It's a really chewy rind as well. The breakdown tastes nice though.
yeah.
Extra.
And what about flavor? What about flavor? How's the flavor?
The texture of the centre is actually really quite lovely. It's kind of like really moussey and really kind of lemony. But I think it's almost like this weird like vegetable bitterness going on with it, which might come from that really thick rind.
Yeah, I was definitely getting some bitter notes. Not huge ones, but they're definitely there.
Mm.
Having just had a bit of the centre on its own, I think you're right. It's coming from the rind of the breakdown.
So the centre's a little better on that front.
It's the breakdown where that bitterness is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Come on, get a bit of that.
It's also more vegetal. The flavours.
That one's like perfumey note as well, you know that?
Yeah, yeah.
Texture's okay.
What do we think on texture for a score?
Maybe 6.
Yeah, I'd say a 6.
Steve, 6. And flavour?
Similar.
I'd maybe go 6.5 on the flavour because it's got some nice flavours in there.
Not nice flavour, it's just different fragmented flavours and
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't unify, does it?
6.5, let's go for it.
Yeah.
6.5.
Yeah.
Marvellous. Let me put those into the mighty cheeseometer. Then we can announce our winner. Because that is the end of our cheese tasting, people.
Very good.
Right. So it's fairly close at the top. See. Right. Okie doke. So coming a very close third is 1181, which is the second last one we did. Yep. That's 1181.
Oh, yeah.
And then second is 1118.
Was that the third one we did?
Which is the third one we did, which was the other log.
Yeah.
And then out and out winner, but not by very much, 1180. That's the one. That's the winner. Yep. Fantastic. Okay. Right. Well, once more, we finished with plenty of time to spare. So all I need to do really is to say thank you once again to our lovely judges, Simon and Steve. Thanks to Butler's Farmhouse Cheeses for sponsoring our aprons, and Peter's Yard for providing lovely crackers. Obviously, we've got our category finals on Tuesday, the 14th of May, and our grand final on Wednesday, the 15th of May, revealing the British cheeses, along with awards that recognise the talented and passionate people in our industry, culminating with the award of the Supreme Champion for 2024. So that's all from us for this particular class. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.